Welcome back. This is the third chapter in the series How to Electrify, brought to you by the Climate Reality Project, New York State Coalition. In this chapter, we will discuss how to electrify your home. Because homes are a complex set of mechanical and structural considerations, this is the most complex of our chapters. But don't despair, there are a lot of incentives to electrify, and the payoff is a home that is more comfortable, less dangerous, and cheaper to run. We'll start with energy efficiency from weatherization, which includes both sealing and insulating your home. New York State and the federal government offer a robust set of home efficiency programs, and low interest financing may also be available. We will go through each of the programs listed here in the next few pages. To determine which of these programs are available to you, click the link when you download the presentation. New Yorkers can get a free home energy assessment either through the REAP program or the Empower Plus program. These programs will give you a customized report documenting your home's energy performance and the actions you can take to make your home more energy efficient, comfortable, and healthy. Once you have your home energy assessment, New Yorkers can use the Comfort Home Seal and Insulate program to improve home comfort, energy efficiency, and lower your bills. Incentives for insulation upgrades, air leak sealing, and high performance windows range from $1,600 to $4,000. For low and moderate income households, Empower Plus provides generous funding for free energy efficiency solutions, whether you own or rent. Low income households are eligible for energy efficiency improvements of up to $10,000 per project from New York State and $14,000 from the federal government, thanks to the Inflation Reduction Act. The federal rebates are broken down into various categories, each with a separate limit. You will see them listed on the upcoming pages. This can be a bit confusing, so the best thing to do is to apply for the Empower Plus program, and they will help you determine how much rebates you will qualify for. Moderate income households are eligible for the energy efficiency improvements of up to $5,000 per project from New York State and $7,000 from the federal government. The same thing applies for the federal rebates. There are separate limits for each category. There are numerous rules and guidelines for this extremely generous program, but you should not delay and apply as soon as you can, as the federal funding is given out on a first-come, first-served basis, and while large, is limited. Clean Energy Hub energy advisors can help you with this application process. Renters need landlord permission to apply, and there are provisions for renters in 2 to 4 unit buildings. The Weatherization Assistance Program is an income-tested program that can cover the cost of energy audits, insulation, and air sealing, as well as heating system improvements, efficient lighting, and refrigeration. Anyone applying for Empower Plus should also apply for this program. There are specific programs available for weatherization for those living in Con Ed and PS&G territories. If you live in New York City, Westchester, Nassau, or Suffolk counties, check out the information shown here and in the provided links. We will now turn our attention away from home efficiency to home electrification. We were about to talk about heat pumps a lot, so we thought it would be best to explain what they are. Heat pumps move heat, they don't create heat, so they can move up to 6 units of heat for 1 unit of energy, while a fossil fuel system can create a maximum of 1 unit of heat by burning a unit of energy. This is why heat pumps are more efficient. They can also move heat out of the house, thus replacing air conditioners as well as furnaces. Modern cold climate heat pumps work well in very cold climates such as Maine, Norway, and New York State. Just be sure to get a cold climate heat pump. Let's talk about the different types of heat pumps. Geothermal heat pumps use the ground to source needed heat or to dump excess heat. Because the ground temperature is relatively close to the temperature that we want in our homes, this activity is very efficient. They can also heat water and thus fuel the two largest users of energy in a home. Air source heat pumps use the air to source needed heat or to dump the excess heat. When that is a small difference, they are exceedingly efficient. but their efficiency goes down when the difference is extreme, such as when the air outside is below zero. In general, geothermal heat pumps are more efficient in our region, thus requiring less electricity. However, the upfront cost is significantly more expensive than air source heat pumps. We recommend that you get quotes for both if possible. Geothermal heating has very generous incentives. The federal government gives a 30% uncapped tax credit, and New York gives a 25% tax credit capped to $5,000. There usually is no sales tax as they qualify as capital improvements. And last, the utilities give very generous rebates. That is why it is important to get a quote for geothermal if it is feasible for your home. Despite the generous incentives for geothermal heat pumps, many people opt for air source heat pumps due to their lower upfront cost and ease of installation. There are federal tax credits available up to $2,000 for everyone, and more generous rebates are available via the Empower Plus program as described on earlier pages. As a capital improvement, air source heat pumps are generally exempt from sales taxes. But the biggest incentive is the clean heat rebates administered by the utilities. Each utilities program is slightly different, but the rebates typically vary based on two factors, and are the highest when it is a whole house versus partial house system, and when you dismantle the fossil fuel system, i.e., not use a dual use system. In many scenarios, these credits and incentives add up to more than one-third of the project cost for everyone, and even more for low and moderate income households. Water heating is the second largest use of energy in most households. Changing to heat pump water heating is one of the best ways to save money. Between the utility discounts of up to $1,000 and the federal tax credits of 30% on an item that can cost less than $2,000 at a box store, heat pump water heaters can cost less than gas water heaters. In addition, the Empower Plus program administers rebates for LMI households as described previously. You will have to run electricity to the water heater if it doesn't exist today, but there are now 120-volt systems that can be plugged into a regular outlet. Heat pump water heaters are super efficient and save a lot of money. For instance, if you are changing from a regular electric water heater, the ongoing energy savings can be enough to power your electric car. Please note that if you buy the water heater yourself, you will typically pay sales tax on the after rebate amount. If the installer buys the equipment and installs it for you, this typically will not be subject to sales taxes. Many people have been impacted by decades of fossil fuel industry advertising that promotes the use of methane gas stoves in the home. We want to provide the real facts behind this advertising campaign. Natural gas is actually methane, a fossil fuel that is 86 times more powerful than climate pollutant than CO2 over 20 years, and other toxic substances such as benzene and formaldehyde. Methane leaks at every stage of the process, from fracking, distribution, and even in your home. Most methane gas in the U.S. comes from fracking. Fracking is a process that releases toxic pollutants like benzene and arsenic into our drinking water. Burning methane gas releases dangerous pollution such as nitrogen oxides and carbon monoxide, which can kill in high concentrations. The health problems from burning methane gas include cancer, heart disease, lung disease, and asthma. Stoves and furnaces are at the end of this long pipeline from the fracking field directly into your home. They pollute when burned and continue to leak even when turned off. Almost 19% of childhood asthma in New York can be attributed to gas stoves. So if you must use gas cooking, take measures to reduce the indoor pollution by turning your vent on high, opening the windows in your kitchen and adjacent rooms, and ask your children to play elsewhere while you are cooking. To avoid the disastrous effects of cooking with methane gas in your home, you could switch to electric cooking. Induction cooktops are an improvement on all fronts. They use less energy, are easier to clean, cook more evenly, and are more powerful than gas stoves. All this while not giving your kids asthma. Radiant electric cooktops are also a good option as they are less expensive and don't require magnetic cookware. To cut the gas line from your home and avoid those monthly base fees from the utility, you may also need to replace your methane gas clothes dryer. While the most efficient clothes dryer is a clothesline, heat pump dryers are pretty close. Retail pricing for heat pump clothes dryers are higher, but the all-in cost can be cheaper because installation doesn't require you to drill through your wall for an outdoor venting, and some units use a regular 120-volt plug, avoiding the need for an electrician. There will be rebates for electric ovens and dryers for low to moderate income individuals, but these have not been announced yet. One question which is critical to answer up front is whether your electricity service panel and wiring are up for the planned changes. We recommend that you check what level of service you have on your electric panel and list out the projects you have planned, along with their electricity requirements. If your projects are more than your electric panel can handle, here are some tips you can use to reduce your demand. First, you should aim for 120 volt versus 240 volt appliances as they draw less electricity, and you can plug them into a regular outlet to avoid wiring costs. You can now find 120 volt heat pump water heaters, clothes dryers, and even ovens which have a battery. Second, you can also use lower amp breakers to reduce the strain on the panel. For instance, you can get 240 volt EV charger or heat pump water heaters that use less amperage. Third, you can use a power sharing device that only allows one device to work at a time, for instance, an EV charger or your stove. You could also investigate a smart panel or using a sub panel. Once you've figured this out, and it will require an electrician to help you, you may want to get quotes to do all the electric work at once. While you are spending money before you need to, it may be cheaper to do it all at once rather than invite electricians out for each project. It will also make sure that you are ready when your fossil-fueled appliance dies. There are a few other programs that we want to make you aware of, as they also can save you money and will help with your financing. New York State offers a suite of loans that help finance some of these upgrades. Be sure to check out their website. There are also some demand response programs that pay you small sums of money that allows the utility to turn your thermostat up a few degrees occasionally in the summer. Typically, they allow you to override the action. Last, some of the utilities have marketplaces where you can buy devices for home efficiency, such as appliances, LED light bulbs, or water-saving shower heads. Much of this technology is new, and many contractors have interests or preferences for doing things the old way. We hear many stories of contractors trying to steer customers to fossil fuel technologies, and often they are surprised to learn about the incentives available. Therefore, it's important to choose your contractor carefully. Here are some simple rules that may help. Get 3 quotes on all major projects and tell them that you're getting 3 quotes. The quotes will give you options on how to proceed and useful insights into the contractors. Ensure the equipment meets efficiency standards, and you can compare the equipment at the link here. Ensure that all rebates are included. This completes Chapter 3, Home Electrification. You can access the presentation using the QR code or the bit.ly link shown here, or you can find the link in the video description. The next chapter in the series addresses transport electrification. We hope to see you there.